His name's Rohan. He's 4 years old now. We first noticed that he had some sort of speech delay was when he was around the 9 months. You know, the normal baby noises, he wasn't doing those, cooing and gurring and so on. If there was like 3-4 items in the kitchen and he'd want one, so he'd point and we'll have to like guess which one he was trying to point to. I knew there was something wrong comparing him to my daughter. I know you shouldn't, but I did, and I'm glad I did, because if I hadn't done that, I would have been still just letting him, you know, sitting at the back of the classroom, not knowing anything.
You'd be talking to him and you'd be like raising eyebrows and trying to make some gestures with facial expressions to him, and he'd just sort of look at you.
We just wanted him to talk, you know, come out with something. It was like he was closing himself off to me, my husband, the family. He'd be happy just sitting there and waiting for things to come in his lap or in his hand. He just didn't want to know. He'd like sit quietly on the mat or on the floor. He didn't really want to get involved too much. He'd rather be happy with his little car in the corner or so on. He'd get frustrated and annoyed, and you could just tell he was getting angry because his face would go red. He'd sort of stamp his feet because we couldn't understand what he was trying to say to us.
I just thought that maybe it was our fault as parents that we weren't probably trying hard enough to get him to be more open with himself. So maybe I wasn't talking to him enough, maybe. That's what I was thinking at sometimes.
Family tried to understand, but they just thought we weren't talking to him. And that was annoying because, you know, we would talk to, you know, why wouldn't you talk to a little child?
I did feel for him because I was thinking, well, what's going to happen to him in a few years' time? That if he goes to nursery, how is he going to talk with other children? How is he going to play with them? Is he going to be able to interact with these other children, you know, in a normal way? I think he would have just gone into a normal nursery school and none of these problems would have been identified.
When he turned 1, you have like your 12 months check-up with the health visitor. I actually pointed out then that I'm concerned, or we're concerned, about his speech. And we were advised that, okay, wait a while, he'll pick it up. I mean, he didn't say mummy or mama or anything of the M word at all. And I think, you know, when you have your little red book and they've got some sort of sounds written at the back, and he was hardly saying any of those at all. But then we sort of carried on. I sort of said, no, you know, we're sure there is something wrong. And that's when the health visitor put us through to a speech therapist. The speech therapist actually did pick up that he was quite behind, so she referred him to the ICANN nursery. If we'd never got it, I don't know where we would have gone. I would have been banging on someone's door.
Well, there's been a great improvement in him in terms of talking, his expressions, where he's walking. Everything has changed completely about him. So it's a real positive thing that's happened for him.
It was nice to see him going into somewhere where he was going to get a lot of attention. He started being happier. He started trying to get involved a lot at home as well.
Now it's just like completely changed. Even talking to my daughter, his sister, he's doing really well as well. It's good to see them two having a conversation now and they're understanding each other.
The way he's responding now is very good. So if he carries on, but because he's in mainstream now, they don't have the teachers to, I mean, you're looking at a teacher and a class assistant to 28 to 30 children, which he won't get that attention. We've learned quite a lot through him, just learning that, you know, all kids aren't the same.
I don't know what else was out there that existed, that was there to help children who were having sort of problems with speaking. So I don't know what was out there in the first place.
I mean, if we'd like had a booklet or taken something home, maybe that would have helped. Because my daughter, I didn't really have much problems with her. She was a bit louder. She still is louder, but with him it was a bit tough. I'll be happy with him just getting good results at school and just take it from there, really.
now that I'm seeing it, it seems like there is a bit more of a common problem than I first thought. So there are quite a few children that probably don't get the treatment for it.